What is going on to you Sagittarius out there? Hope y'all are having a great day. So for you Sagittarius, you have the Page of Wands, the Two of Swords, and you Sagittarius have the Knight of Swords. Hold on a second, let me close the door. So for you Sagittarius, right? A lot of you, very much so, a lot of you Sagittarius, okay? Page of Swords, Two of Swords, Knight of Swords. You have someone that very much so is very caught up with their own self-protection and their own self-preservation. They're a little bit too preoccupied with that. You Sagittarius have been getting to know some more people because a lot of you are very much so single, right? And of course, you know, I don't mean that as an insult. That's just a matter of the situation, right? And what it is that you Sagittarius have found out from personal experience is that, you know, like I've been saying, not everybody is going to be for you, right? Like, the people that are for you are better quality than the people who are not for you. But the people who are not for you are going to be a lot. They're going to be many. But the people who are for you, friends, family, romantic interests, they're quality. A lot of them have skills. Well, I should say they all have skills. And they all have a lot of value. But the value is underrated. And it's supposed to be like that. It's okay, right? Think about all the people in your life who have value. They want to look ordinary. They want to look boring. They want to look regular, right? The most extraordinary people in your life, most of the times, if they have any kind of common sense and wisdom, they're gonna do everything that they possibly can to be as ordinary and boring as they possibly can. See, the only reason why stars and celebrities and stuff like this, you know, can't essentially be ordinary is because they're building a brand literally off of their stage name. So it would be oxymoronic for them to be in the shadows, but then they're a celebrity, right? Like, how are you going to be a musician specifically, right? An entertainment or a musician, but at the same time, people don't hear from you. People don't hear you, right? They don't even know your nickname or your stage name that you go by, but maybe you don't show your face to create that street buzz. You understand what I'm saying? It's like, it doesn't make any sense. But regardless of that, most of the people in your life that probably made an impact are people who aren't really seeking attention as far as outwardly, right? The relationship and the connection that they probably have with you is on point, and they don't really need anything else. It's just that, you know, you and this person probably end up growing apart, or they could be friends or family members or something like that, right? But anyway, this person that you're getting to know seems to be very caught up with just trying to make sure that you Sagittarius aren't trying to play them, because they see you Sagittarius as, honestly, they see you as being extroverts, and they don't want, it look like it's gonna rain. They see you Sagittarius as extroverts, and they don't want you Sagittarius to actually, like, you know, because extroverted people are people who, you know, have been prone to cheat. Those are the type of people where they you know, they love the attention so much, and they love entertaining other people. They will literally cheat for the entertainment and the shock value, right? The drama of, oh, you know, they kissed this person that wasn't there, fill in the blank, right? And then that creates drama. So you're getting to know this person, and the Eight of Cups and the Ace of Swords represents how you didn't want anything. You decided to stop talking to them soon after. Because and this isn't necessarily one particular person, right? Because if this person was so important, it wouldn't have essentially gone down like that as far as the reading. So what I'm seeing for you, Sagittarius, is that this isn't necessarily somebody that you may have known for a particular long time. This is a series of people, a type, right, of individuals, an archetype of individuals that you Sagittarius have been essentially meeting, right, interacting with over a course of time. Like the same person, different shirt, same person, different shirt. And what I mean when I say same person, different shirt, I'm talking about from a perspective of like, and I'm sure y'all can figure it out yourselves, but like it's the same archetype. It's the same, this person is bad and bougie. They like to play on the, these tropes. They like to play on the handsome role, the tall, dark, and handsome role. They like to, play on the bad and bougie role, right? Everything, gotta be draped out in Gucci. Everything has to be, fleek. Everything has to be chic. Everything has to be fleek. All of these, design, dripped in designer and all this other type of stuff. And you Sagittarius don't want to have to deal with the type, the loser, the come, let me tell you something on both sides. Let me tell you something. My life was hard, and my life currently is hard, and I'm still trying to essentially, rise up out of the gutter on some Martin Luther King type stuff. Like that's the trope. And a lot of you Sagittarius are getting tired of the trope. You're getting tired of the being weak, but then excusing your weakness and then trying to project it onto somebody else. Oh, they projected it back onto you Sagittarius. Oh, you Sagittarius, y'all are just too strict. And it's like a lot of you Sagittarius are going from partiers, right? People that can throw a mean party, because Sagittarius is the partiers of the zodiac sign. Y'all are going from being the partiers to being a little bit more strict. Like, all right, let's party. We could party, but let's make sure our business is straight first. Then we party. Business first, party second. There's no exceptions to that. You get it in the other way, it's wrong. Not because I'm saying that, because it don't work the other way around. Because I've tried. Don't work. If you party first, you're going to be sloppy when it's time for you to handle business. Or you're not going to want to get the business done because you feeling good. Forget about that business. No, do the work first, then party. And a lot of you Sagittarius are doing that. And again, Ace of Pentacles, you're too good for a lot of the people that you're meeting, honestly. That's part of the reason why it is that you got to separate yourself from them. Because a lot of you Sagittarius end up being too good for them. Because the truth is, it's all right, baby. It's my dog down there. But the truth is that a lot of you Sagittarius are building the work ethic. And when it comes to people who have work ethic, right, where they understand the grind, they understand purpose. They don't like lazy people. They don't like people who don't understand the grind, because a lot of people who understand the grind understand, they'll be looking at the other person like, what do they think? What do they think that actually is, right? Like, what do they think this is? A lot of things in life don't come free. So it's the same scenario when it comes to you Sagittarius, right? You're better than a lot of these people that you're meeting. They're bums. And forget about that ideology of you are what it is that you are attracting. See, people come up with all these slang to pour into you and all this other type of nonsensical, let me not even get started. These nonsensical talking points, but they don't ever actually break down what these talking points mean. When a person says, let me explain something to you. When a person says that you are what it is that you are attracting, what they're trying to say is, right, to demystify it, what they're trying to say is you are they're trying to say birds of a feather flock together. And that, ultimately, if you rocking with somebody long term, right? It's one thing if you rocking with the person short term because maybe you tried and the two of you don't have the same value systems. So it doesn't matter how much the two of you may physically like each other, you'll never be able to get along. Because with people who talk all that nonsense about birds of, I am what it is I'm attracting. I don't get along with the dysfunctional people who want to run the streets. I don't get along with them. So what does that say? So many people will proclaim that, so it's the same thing for you, Sagittarius, right? You're better than them. That's why, and I'm getting into another layer on it. I'm getting into another layer deep. That's also part of the reason why it is that when people play games, they play games because their spirit and your spirit don't in fact align. They have to tear you down because of the fact that they're hyenas and you're lions. You actually are striving to get your life together and they're not. They're claiming that, they're going to get up. They're going to get up. They have a savior complex. And when they get up, it's going to be so miraculous. It's going to, again, outdo Martin Luther, aka Michael King Jr., aka Martin Luther King Jr. That when they get up, they're, you know what I'm saying? The heavens will understand what they're talking about. That adds to the delusion. Not right? And then the King of Swords right here represents, they thought that you were too, they thought that they were too smart for you, but in actuality, you're too smart for them. They're gang, you're game. Game. You're a game. You're a gamester. They're a gangster. Peep game. You understand? You, Sagittarius, want to understand yourself and your surroundings. You want to be able to benefit yourself and profit from your discomfort, your efforts. You want to be able to create everything to your advantage around you, right? While the people who are coming to you are living hand to mouth, not wanting to learn how to fish. They want to rely on other people to do the work. See, this is why it is I'm saying that I'm such an advocate for learning how to do both. Learn to allow people to do great things for you, but at the same time, also learn how to bring value, aka do things for yourself and do things for other people. That's the circle of life. Symbol reference. Lion King reference. That's the circle of life. Because this is why it is that I can't. Hold on. This is why it is that I can't go ahead and rock with the 48 laws of power buffs, the individuals where every time they want to play this game of the 48 laws of power and all this other type of stuff, because they don't seem to understand that, because in the 48 laws of power, there's a lesson in there about getting people to do the work for you. But the downside to that is, if you get the people to do the work for you, you lose out on the experience of actually learning the skill. So this is why it is, I keep saying, at the end of the day, people keep thinking I'm playing. At the end of the day, there is not an option but to stop playing the games. Because all the tactics that a person can learn and all the games and all the nonsensical approaches that people can use, there's downsides to it that essentially disempower the person too, if they're not paying attention. The High Priestess now and the Seven of Swords, they had it, obviously, these people that you're meeting, they had a hidden agenda. You already know what it is. To use you, to disrespect you, to make sure that you, Sagittarius, don't understand, don't you, to, how do I say this? That, I don't know if you Sagittarius can remember this state of mind, because a lot of you have been removed from it. I'm sure you can, right? I'm sure, y'all are amazing people. Y'all probably know a whole lot. And no, I'm not being facetious. I know a lot of Sagittarius in real life. They racing out there, son. Anyway, this is New York. Okay, this is the city that never sleeps, fam. I'm telling you. Don't matter. Don't matter if it's 12 something noon in the day, or if it's 3 a.m. There's gonna be some activity outside. So people who have a problem with that, listen, you're delusional, fam. In the winter, summer, spring, fall, there's gonna be something constantly. So if you getting bent out of shape about noises outside, you might as well unsubscribe. You might as well leave the channel. This is New York, fam. This is New York. And then I'm living in the city too, Manhattan. This is New York, fam. Anyway, what I'm trying to say here with that is, what I'm trying to say here with that is, the High Priestess and the Seven of Swords speaks to how you Sagittarius, essentially, that's the other layer, that's the other layer to it. Right? The other layer to it is that they gotta spite you, because they know that you're a lion or a lioness, and they're a hyena. So the Two of Cups and the Fool is about how you have to understand to essentially create your own lane. You Sagittarius have to essentially establish another family. And what I mean when I say another family, I mean you have to establish and I've talked about this too. But all right, yo. But you have to establish another family. And what I mean when I say another family, I mean you have to establish you have to establish a relationship where it can turn into a family, right? Where the two of you feel so close to one another, y'all become family in the form of romantic relationship, right? Regardless of whatever you're into, I don't care, right? So the thing is that because the Fool represents, you need to get creative with it as well. Because what's making it different from the few other times that I've mentioned it is because you have to essentially reinvent yourself. See, you Sagittarius have been reinventing yourself, and you're learning from your mistakes and everything like that. But to a certain extent, you're still not necessarily quite clear as to what you can essentially pay attention to that will really give you some sort of an indication to stay away. Well, recently I figured it out. Another one is if the person has the bad and bougie mentality, right? On either side. Because you got tall, dark, and handsome. You got the tall, dark, and handsomes who have this hair, this slim shady, hair coloring, bad and bougie, bourgeoisie mentality. You know what I'm talking about. So that's one thing that I realized, right? Like there's people who you meet basically, right? You interact with, and you interact with, and bam, the two of you like how this person operates. This person isn't like they're not immediately stepping on this bougie, this bourgeoisie, my boo-boo don't stink, you gotta do all of that. Stay away from that. That's a dub. That's a dub. That's a whole dub waiting to happen. So that's one thing that you can look out for as well, is if they immediately have this bad and bougie, like this ignoring you. That's why it is I've been clowning that, because I'm telling y'all that's a problem. This I'm so fine or I'm so handsome to the point where I act like I'm like not in my right head. Like there's just nothing, like there's not even nothing that exists. I just don't have the brain cells to like pay attention to anything else. I'm just gonna look right through you like you're a ghost. There's a million people, there's a couple of people talking to them, but then specifically they're ignoring you. Like, yeah, you gotta stay away from that. That's a person, honestly, when you dig into their past as well, that's a person who's suffering from, who's dealing with severe mental problems. I'm not diagnosing. That's a person who's dealing with severe issues. Though that's every time I got a chance to really understand what was really going on, they created hard problems for themselves, because like it is that I said before, and then not only that too, but something that really should be taken as a blessing, low key, is if it is actually, if you're in the middle of the road as far as attraction and looks, Sagittarius, is if you're in the middle of the road. Because one thing that I'm really realizing about the attraction thing is that a lot of the times, give it a rest already. But what it is that a lot of the times people who are, very attractive and stuff like this, they usually tend to have a lot of mental issues on average. I'm not saying all of them, obviously, but a lot of them really do, on either side, regardless of whatever those sides are into. Is because, and this is what it is I was talking about, that I was building upon. I may not have necessarily been building upon it with you, Sagittarius, but I do remember one of the zodiac signs I was building upon, where it's like, being a very attractive individual a lot of the times actually is, it actually is a cross between a blessing and a curse. Like, it's cool to, be attractive or conspicuously attractive and everything like that, right? But I realized that there was like a simulacra. I realized that there was a through line, right? A similarity through all of it. And the similarity that I realized about it is the fact that people who tend to be very physically attractive, like, very conspicuously attractive, they tend to be very messed up in the head. Because it's like, they have the mentality of who's there for them. And then even when they have someone that is talking to them regular, they ignore the person and they go out of. It's like, yo, I'm really peeping game, Sagittarius. I'm recently I figured all this stuff out. I figured those two things out, right? And I'm really peeping game, like, yo, like, this may not be the worst thing in the world, for real, to be middle of the road, for real, because like, conspicuously handsome or beautiful people, they tend to be, a lot of the times, one of the things I realize in common, just the devil's in the details, right? Like, I'm a Virgo, so I'm peeping game, right? I'm peeping game to the details. I realize over and over again that the most physically attractive people, more oftentimes than not, are the most messed up. So I'm really looking at, it's raining. I'm really looking at this thing, and I'm like, yo, this thing might be a blessing in disguise to kind of be the middle of the road, bro. Like, yeah, it has some things about you that are outstanding, but it's, middle of the road, is actually in certain cases better than the conspicuously handsome or pretty. Because you handsome or pretty enough to attract somebody, but you ugly to the point where that handsomeness isn't becoming a hindrance to you, or a problem, or something that would stunt your growth, spiritually and everything else. So let me know what you Sagittarius think about that in the comment section. Let me clarify our card, and let's get out of here. Let's clarify the Fool. Five of Cups, the Justice, the Seven of Pentacles, the Three of Pentacles, and then you have the Ace of Swords to clarify the Fool. So the Five of Cups and the Justice to clarify the Fool right here is about how when you decide to actually when you Sagittarius actually decide to how do I say, deal with people from the perspective of like not how do I say this, not holding on to them too much, right? Not holding on to them too tightly, interacting with them in a way where it's like, you know, you're not really getting caught up with the, if they are physically attractive, not getting caught up with the bad and the bougie. Like if they're bad and bougie, if they are, you know what I'm saying, like that, like if they have the attitude and they're conspicuously handsome or pretty, just avoid that. If they have the attitude, just avoid that. Just get on down the road. Just avoid that. You know what I'm saying? Because that's a whole archetype. They're going to give you a hard time, you know, and, you know, they're going to give you a hard time. Anyway, the Seven of Pentacles and the Three of Pentacles and the Ace of Swords is about it, you know, other things that you Sagittarius can and should look out for is a lot of you Sagittarius do tend to be conspicuously handsome. Don't care about, care about your own, care about yourself, right? Because you're just conspicuously handsome or pretty, right? Like, you know, don't chastise yourself for that. But at the same time, don't get so caught up with that only to the point where it stunts your growth. Have other things, I'm sure you know this already, to offer. And that'll make you that much more attractive. That's pretty much it. Comment on the video, like the video, subscribe to the YouTube channel, share the video. There's a link in the comment section below called a Linktree link. Click on it. It will redirect you to a website where there's all the ways to get personal reading, birth chart reading, my clothes, right? i.e. my merch. Shout outs to all the people who will essentially get my merch in the future. I still can't believe it still to this day that people will literally people will buy it and walk around with a Kareemspiritworks hoodie. It's humbling. Listen, it's humbling. I am truly humbled by that stuff. I can't. I'm humbled, and also to the books that I have that on Amazon. That's another thing too that I'm humbled. I'm humbled with it all, honestly. Like I'm humbled with the idea of like people care enough to get my readings. People care enough to buy my books. People care enough to actually get the hoodies. Like it's people literally running around with Kareemspiritworks hoodies and sweatpants. I never would have thought that this would be my future. Yo, I never would have.